And who can be afraid? Who lives in innocence and love of who he intends to be in our reformulation of the possibility of the acknowledgement of ourself as not being within the body formulation that has previously identified ourselves. The particulars by which we intend today to perform ideas of acts of body conversion, are going to be connected to practices in the determination that the power of decision is in my mind. And that, I'm going to put this here. Would you hold this for me? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. See, the power of decision in what I would intend to teach with you in the performance of an act of a conversion of a light factor in my mind are what we just read together, didn't we? In Matthew, the description of the idea. It's very interesting to me that you let me teach you this. The most interesting idea of the practice of the conversion of your mind in your identity of yourself, as we just read together, are going to be the acknowledgement that while the experience of the voice, this is God, what did he say? Did he say, "This is my beloved Son"?
Yes.
Did he say he was well pleased?
Yes.
Now, who was he speaking to? He was speaking to Jesus, in the sense that he was speaking to one who had acknowledged his power within his physical body. So here I am with you now, and I'm expected to perform with you acts of acknowledgement of my physical formulation of body in my efforts to teach you in my own discipleship of mine. I'm going to use the word minister because I like it. I like the idea of minister or teacher of God in the sense of my necessity to make declarations of the possibility of the physical reoccurrence of my body identity, come on now, contained within the illusion of how I'm representing myself. There's a great deal of joy that's going to be ours, I hope now, in the idea that if I intend to remain within this frequency of a quantum idea of the physical conversion of my body, I would be expected to demonstrate to you my capacity, beginning with the ministry that I intend to make in my declaration of the saviorship of Jesus in a reflection of light where he is offering me the solution, not in his body, but in his mind. The joy that you just felt with me in the physical reoccurrence of me was precisely and exactly the idea that I am offering you thoughts about yourself, all right? And I just read you this, didn't I? That I'm not a body and that I'm free. Now, the nature of that conversion, somewhere within you, come on now, are going to have to require that you have ideas within your mind, and this is what we were just reading together, that you're not a body. No, the idea that you're going to be a body are always going to be the evidence that you are going to be a body and you're going to have an experience of yourself and you're going to enjoy the outcome of being a body. I'm going to teach for just a few minutes, all right? And it's going to have to do directly with your capacity to decide if our initial encounter was that you're not a body, that you, once you decide that there's something other than your body, you can begin to have experiences of it. Look with me. I remember just this last week, okay, so I teach for a minute. I love this guy. Okay, what does this say?
Living better longer.
Living better longer? Huh? Is that what that says? Okay, what does this say?
Aging naturally.
Living better longer? Aging naturally? Why? What's his name? Andrew. He looks beautiful to me. He has a description in here of how he intends to occupy his body formulation. This is lovely. Aging naturally. I'm curious about something. You mindful one of how much I'm loving you in this association, why would you want to naturally get old and sick and die? I'm going to wait for an answer. Here, aging naturally, I'm told, oh, this is lovely. Here's a lot of things that I can do in the idea that I'm going to be a body formulation. Here's one, I'll try this. I'm going to meditate myself in the realization. Oh, here's another one. I'm going to consume ideas about myself within the body formulation to remain vital in how I feel about myself. Nowhere. I don't find it in here. Nowhere in here do I find a complete necessity for the power of my mind to decide the outcome that I want in being a body formulation. Okay, I'm a disciple. I'm a follower of the resurrection of Jesus of Nazareth. And I have had a physical experience. I'm going to get to one of my favorite guys here, if it's all right with you. I'm teaching Healing of the Body Association. I was talking to one of my favorite disciples this morning. His name is Benny Hinn. And everybody said, oh, I've heard of him. He goes out and he's healing the sick. Benny Hinn is doing more than healing the sick, my dear friend. He's beginning to raise the dead. He is taking under himself examples of the capacity to follow the teaching advocated by Jesus in the physical recognition of the conversion of the body. I'll try this again with you. I don't want to get old. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to die. Now say to me, I do.
I do.
Oh, go ahead. I know that. You were already in the factor of the admission that it's necessary for you to get old and to get sick and die. But why do you pretend to me that's the teaching? The teaching is not that you should get old and sick and die. The teaching from Jesus resurrected is very simply that you're not a body. This is great stuff. I mean, I'm going to follow your example. I'm going to take good care of myself. Everything I'm going to do, here's some interesting guys who are body formulations within their own mind. Okay, and I'm sure that you would recognize some of them. Listen, I'm going to teach for a minute. You want to listen to me? I don't know who some of these guys are. We'll take a look at it. The decision to be a body formulation within how you're viewing yourself are a name that you have given yourself in regard to being a body. Now, you're very much aware that some of you are more successful, say, at staying youthful and young in your association. Here's Paul Newman. That's a good one. Paul, how you doing there, Paul? Now, Paul Newman, I'm going to use him because I like him. Because, in fact, I like all of you guys that want to teach the idea of the action of your mind to be who you want to be. Paul Newman. No, I'm using him. There's a list of all sorts of guys. I'll use you. Shall I use you? You know in your mind and heart perfectly well that you're not Paul Newman. Okay, I'm Charlie Anderson. I might as well let it hang out. I know perfectly well in my mind from the time I am born into this association that while I have been given a name in a correspondent, it is simply a reflection of light on how you want to view me in the presence of getting old and getting sick and dying. And now you're showing me all of these pictures. Wow, look at this. There's more of it in here, and I'm not going to get into it, but it's a good thing to read. Oh, here's some other pictures of other people, and you're sharing to the idea. Listen with me. Listen. I'm not concerned about your body at all.